Hi, Dominic.
Hold on. Go. Hi, my name's Kayla. I am a medic in the Air Force. I suffer from anxiety, depression that is diagnosed, and I'm going to be talking about today the effects of mental health and how leadership and being able to seek treatment affects everybody in the military. So first I'm going to touch bases on how leadership is going to either play like a rainbow role, or they are going to play the role that nobody really wants to deal with. A lot of the times leadership has the stigma that they will not help. They'll give paperwork, they'll kind of target you and kind of push you out of the circle once they find out that you are not mentally stable or you're going to mental health seeking treatment, anything like that, which tends to push members to like the brink of like breaking. It's a huge issue when it comes to being able to seek treatment, because then they feel like that they can't talk to anybody. If leadership's not going to be the one to help them, their leaders are not going to be the one to help them, then why should they look for help anywhere else? Who's going to listen to them? But on the rainbow side of it, what they should be doing is being able to check in with their airmen, being able to see how they can help personally, be able to take off that workload, that stress that they could be having at home, checking in their home situation, being able, as supervisors, as superintendents, commanders, anything like that, be able to back up their airmen. A huge point of view that is not normally like seen is the chemical aspect of it. Usually with like depression, anxiety, it is a chemical imbalance in your brain. You're lacking serotonin and dopamine levels. Like a quote that I ended up receiving from a source, last name that did this research was McIntosh. He said, all mental illnesses have biopsychological and social origins. Bio refers to the biological aspects of these illnesses, such as genetics, hormones, and then neurotransmitters. Another aspect of all of this different stuff, now that we've talked about, I guess, the leadership aspect, how all of this goes down with the stress levels, say, in the workplace, it is also the medical aspect. As a military medic, I have to go through different screeners with my patients, such as PHQ, GAD, which PHQ is a depression screener that we do every single day, with each one of our patients that screens for depressive moods, as well as the GAD, which also screens for anxiety as well. If we get anything over a 3 for any given person, for each of those screeners, we go ahead and try to refer them, or at least give them the option of gaining help. A huge issue when it comes to patients not accepting that help is going to be like them being too scared, which is another aspect of leadership not really honing in on what their airmen are doing and not being able to help. If they are not usually willing to accept help on the medical side, then that usually means that their leadership is not necessarily backing them up as well. Their support system, such as family at home, is not necessarily supporting them, and then they are themselves spiraling and crashing. A huge issue with this is that as medical people, we care for our patients. We want to be able to help them, and not being able to help the people that we like see positive screeners for is a huge issue. A source that I ended up finding on that kind of tells, I guess, like it compares the differences between, say, an old Victorian family and the structures behind that versus, like, say, military. Sources came from the author with the last name Dixon. He said, armies resemble the authorization family group, such as the ethos of an old-style Victorian family, which forbade any show of aggression by the child towards its parents, but encouraged organized aggression towards contemporaries, giving the idea that you are not allowed to show any sort of adverse reaction to your leadership. Taking that back to, say, the medical aspect or the leadership aspect is not being able to, as military, take the things that you need because you're scared of doing it towards your authority figures, your medical, and instead being pushed to direct it towards your mission, towards whatever you're doing, which is not necessarily good. Now that we've talked about the medical aspects, we're going to talk about how the member can actually help themselves, and how they can start contributing towards their improvement in their mental health. As somebody who suffers from depression and anxiety, as well as the person who is, say, the medical member who are trying to screen people, accepting help and accepting, like, say, behavioral health or mental health has been a huge issue when it comes to, I don't want to be put on medication. I do not want to be, say, sent over to a group. I want to be able to go home, be happy, not worry about any of the issues that I have. And it's almost something that you wish would happen right off the bat. So the first thing that a member can do is accepting that help, being able to see the issue, go to mental health, be able to recognize what is going wrong, and then accept that plan of care that their mental health providers are willing to give. And a lot of the time that does not happen regularly. My last piece of, I guess, statistics for my speech, and this came from a source with the last name of Care. The statistics are back from 2018. They said estimated 14% of service members experience depression after deployment. However, this number may be even higher because some service members aren't seeking care for their condition. Additionally, about 19% of service members report that they experienced traumatic brain injuries during combat. These types of injuries commonly include concussions, which can damage the brain and trigger depressive symptoms. That honestly cannot, like, that doesn't have to be limited to combat. That could be anything from childhood trauma to, say, an injury from their childhood, anything like that. And looking at the statistics, that's definitely a number that we can bring down. So discussing that is something that I wish that we would be able to improve and bring awareness to. But in the end, like, in conclusion with all of this, your contribution as the person needing the help or the person giving the help really starts with you. And that's just about it. So thank you.